Last time on Dice Funk.
I think at this point Boris has to be aware that, like, there is some sleight of hand going on, so he's probably not going to actually stab this demon with the sword.
Even if I was killed on this plane, I would just go back to the Abyss, and then I'd have to, buy a ticket to get back. It's not a big deal. I can only be killed in the Abyss, so...
Me and Sarah will be Dr. Kicks and Dr. Meowvelous.
It's kick time!
And use some of the proceeds from our matches to help fund the clinic.
He has predictive algorithms set up to try to predict what everyone will do so he can keep people as oppressed as possible. I mean...
Do you have proof of any of these allegations?
So one of the things I got was I got a new otherworldly patron feature, and I get beguiling defenses, which means I'm immune to being charmed.
Mm-hmm. That is what I intend to find out through this experiment.
I don't know if that means that eventually I might have to part ways from Ed to provide him his own vessel by himself.
You confirmed that Katerina was dead. You sent your condolences, but you've been able to track her vitals. Has anything sort of strange happened with that?
Several hours after that grenade went off, she flatlined and was no more.
So you're saying that the church is not in Valentine?
Is it underground?
There was a security detail there.
Guarding what?
We didn't go to where they were guarding.
Huh, that's weird.
The guards that we were avoiding on our first mission, our first
I was
heist.
always thinking, I was like, there's no way it could be like underneath the first heist. That would be too much.
Cash rules everything around me. Cash rules everything around me. Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job, had second hand. Moms bounced on old men, so then we moved to Shaolin Land. A young youth, you're rocking the go-to. Low goose, only way I begin to G-York was drug loot. And let's start it like this, son.
This recording synced real nice with the re-loop of Take Me Home Country Road. It's got me pretty on right now.
West Virginia.
Mountain Mama! Carry home. And so
No
on.
NPCs.
That's how I need it. Just me and the world.
Always online.
I was already pessimistic about Bethesda actually making a good game, and then they did that. I'm like, all hope is lost for me.
PvP! West Virginia.
Giant sloth monsters.
Why are you all complaining about just, like, having to play with other people and make up your own story as you go? That's what we do on this show. Apparently we like making up our own stories.
I don't trust Bethesda to allow people to make their own stories. That's my problem.
And I'm super hyped for it.
I want to hear Todd Howard's tabletop podcast first, then we'll judge.
I use Fireball on the door, and how does that go? How does that work? It just works. Door opens, then you go on.
It just opens. It's just like...
Todd's podcast would have a lot of skeletons as environmental storytelling. You guys would find a skeleton every 2 or 3 minutes.
I'm okay with that.
Every skeleton happens to have a piece of paper attached to it that tells you its backstory and why it's there.
It'd just be hours of Austin talking.
Wait, no. That'd be the Dark Souls storytelling method. Every single item has, like, extended lore that you somehow know as soon as you pick it up.
I play games.
All right, we should probably jump in. We're getting pretty close to the end of this season, so let's just in media res this fool. You guys start this episode where the campaign began. At the end of episode 1, you were moving through the subway tunnels. You guys took a turn off of the tracks into a dark, abandoned old lizard folk tunnel, and you came across a Droney Maloney, a little cute drone with like a smiley face on the front, which opened up to reveal the barrel of a gun. It chased you around, but you escaped. And it's still down here patrolling, looking for you when you show up again.
Is it the same model as our Droney Maloney?
We don't have a Droney Maloney. We just have a Droney.
You guys have a butler bot, which is a different model.
I thought you were going to say we start where...
At the club, yeah. We start
no,
at the club.
I thought you were going to say blissfully unaware.
It's like we re-meet at the same club that we met at the beginning and do the same awkward sequence of trying to introduce each other.
Yeah, I mean, you guys definitely can meet up at the club first. I just don't know how much there is to say there besides everyone looks at each other and goes,
Okay, let's go to the tunnels.
Yeah. Remember when everything didn't suck as much? Good times, good times.
Well, I feel like things sucked. We was, as I said, blissfully unaware.
Yeah. All right, so unless you guys want to establish anything or talk as you walk down the tunnels, we'll start just around the corner. You guys are in the dark lizard folk tunnels underneath or between the two Valentines, really, but you know that they go off under the desert to what's called Old Valentine, the abandoned lizard folk villages. And ahead of you, you see Adroni Maloney patrolling, still looking for you. It's been looking for you for literally months.
Oh, poor baby.
Can we dress up our... actually, I've got an idea. Okay. So, I want to use minor conjuration to try and conjure basically a Droney Maloney outfit for our butler bot.
If we get George shot, I'm never forgiving anyone.
I'm not going to get George shot. I just want to make, like, a nice, convincing...
Precious cargo.
Drone outfit that we can have George wear.
He has an AC of -3, and he has 1 hit point.
Y'all.
Wait. -3 is pretty good, right? Oh, shit. Wrong version.
George is at home in bed, tucked in.
Skitch is horny to talk about Thaco, y'all.
Actually, okay, fine. I'm gonna make I'm gonna use my minor conjuration to make what looks like a Droney Maloney, and then I'm gonna summon an unseen servant to hold it so it looks like it's a floating drone.
That's good. That's good shit.
Is this a better idea?
I was just gonna say the fun line I was hoping for was I'm not gonna get George shot. George will get George shot. Don't worry, he'll take care of it.
Laura, do you want to roll a deception to try to trick the Droney Maloney in here?
Okay, I will try this roll.
After the first episode aired, by the way, Johnny Maloney, former cast member of this show, sent me a DM which just said "Droney Maloney?" ?
I got a 16 to deceive Johnny Maloney.
Oh, got him.
Wait a minute.
16's pretty good. So it's an illusion, correct? And it would need to make an intelligence check to see through that.
It's a conjuration, so it's a physical object.
Yeah.
But it's still a deception of it trying to see through. Is this thing really reality or is this thing fake reality?
All right, so you guys get up to the tunnel it's patrolling, and you can hear in the distance his voice. It's like, "Please surrender, intruders. You're only making this more difficult." And it's been doing this for months and months down here. When you put your fake drone into action in front of it, it sees it, zooms in, flies over to it, and it says, "Droney Maloney unit, please identify yourself."
Frank's just gonna kind of shout round from the corner and try and make it sound like it's coming from the new drone, just like, "Intruders detected, this way."
Nice. So with your 16, it's going to follow its brethren Droney down. I guess, you know what? Down the tunnel you guys went down, which leads under Blackacre, the first heist.
Yeah.
So it goes that way.
It's just away from where we want to be.
Yeah, where you want to be is the rest of these tunnels down here you didn't explore, because there are just miles and miles and miles of them. Or, if you'd prefer, kilometers?
I personally prefer miles, but it's
shit.
cool.
They do use both miles and kilometers in references to distances, I know.
We use them weirdly inconsistently.
Yes.
I prefer meters in the small distances, but miles for big ones.
There's 50 euros of tunnels down here. 1 silver sterling.
50 euros, but once you get to hundreds, then it becomes dollars for some reason. I don't know why.
50 pence to the hay cent.
So Team Loser makes their way down the dark tunnels, and there's going to be a long walk here as you guys just work your way blind through these tunnels. There's no map to follow because no one's supposed to be down here.
Wow, I love walking.
So, 1 second here. So, are we going to be walking through these tunnels for hours or something?
We'll find out. First, what do you guys talk about to pass the time?
How y'all feel about tunnels? I love tunnels.
Secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. All I'm thinking, if we'd taken a different turn about 30 episodes ago, we could have had a much shorter adventure.
Wow, maybe we could have just won the whole campaign by punching Solomon right at the beginning, huh?
Also, he probably would have known we were coming and shot us dead on sight,
Wait, what's a campaign? Whoa.
Just that long stare to the camera by everyone before. So I would like to make an attempt to try and notice any particular tracks that might be associated with a humanoid, like pseudo Bane, Kraken fake, whatever it is, has been going back and forth from Solomon. Is that possible for me to try to check to see if I can find any tracks or any sort of markings that would indicate a particular route that someone would have taken?
Survival check.
All right. 19.
19, very good. So you do not find humanoid tracks down here. In fact, it does not look like there are any tracks, which you find probably a little confusing, at which point, with a 19, you hear something coming down the tunnel, and you have ample time to get the team to hide. You go down a kind of fork to a different tunnel as something's coming this way, and you hide around the corner, and you peek out, and you see there are 3 of the spiky drones, which do not have names as far as you know, because they are not mass market models. These seem to be like personal Solomon Luna models. They have like little spikes on them, which project holograms you've seen. There are 3 of them, and they are using some sort of magic or technology to levitate parcels, like containers, and they're floating down the tunnel, carrying them back the way you came.
God, he loves to make everything spiky. Let's go the way that those guys came from.
So real quick, before we start doing that, I do actually want to have a quick conversation with the group about something. Which is to say, so when we find Solomon,
Yeah.
are we killing him or what are we doing?
We can punch him and then put him in jail. Right?
I mean,
Punch jail.
Yeah. Punch him so hard he flies right to jail.
well, if we're going to have him arrested, we need to make sure that there's actually evidence of what he's done and everything on that regard.
Also, I imagine there probably will be evidence in his secret lair.
I know that you're not maybe not super keen on this. I don't know. Reese, you do have the ability to like reshape reality. That seems like that might be a good ace in the hole to have for non-violently taking him down.
I can't reshape reality. I can reshape someone's perception of their reality, though. I don't know if it's going to necessarily work with Solomon. It depends on kind of the situation we're presented with. Also, it's really morally dubious to do so.
Well,
as I found out, and kind of knew already, but I had to do it.
yeah. I don't know. Like, if you could convince him to, like, if we can incapacitate him, maybe you could convince him, show us where the evidence of your wrongdoing is. That might be a useful thing to do.
I mean, don't you have a spell that lets you, like, take control of someone's mind and force them to do things?
I suppose I do as well.
Heroes!
That seems more helpful than me being able to be like, you took a really nice vacation once. Look at this photo.
Look at this photograph.
God damn
I
it.
feel like that's morally better than killing him. Still not great, I'm aware.
As noted, there's the possibility we'll find out more information that we can use.
In his secret lair. That's why it's a secret.
We might just stumble into his evidence room, who knows?
Beep boop, look at this graph.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
I was also thinking, should we steal some of those parcels?
On the, like, possibility that we don't find evidence, though, are we arresting him with the idea that he might just be able to get out of it? Or, are we going to do what we've ultimately ended up doing with every other supervillain we've fought?
An idea will arise when the time is right. If we assume anything, there's a good chance those assumptions will be changed. So adaptability is the key thing here.
So we're doing my favorite plan, which is winging it.
Yeah, if we've learnt anything doing all this, it's that no matter how much planning we do, we are going to have to think on the fly because we are not good planner-aheaders.
Love to wing it.
Yeah.
Beep boop, cracaw, gotta wing it.
There's a lot of morally questionable ways we could do this. We do own the courts. We have the ability to probably make a conviction stick. Not that that is the right way to handle this. We're the heroes, right?
To stop the crime, we must become crime.
Become the crime you wish to stop in the world.
Your conspiracy can't outdo our conspiracy, old man. Ha! Checkmate.
I really wish Graves hadn't flushed down all of my anti-anxiety medicine now. Today feels like a day I'd really need it.
I actually do genuinely really like the idea that this society is so messed up that you have to become messed up to stop it being messed up, because that's a
Yeah.
very real thing that happens in politics a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the drones carrying the parcels move past, and you guys continue on your adventure down these tunnels. Eventually, after a good amount of walking and talking about the morals of what you're doing, which is what all that last scene was, you reach the end of a tunnel. There are obviously more. Like I said, this desert is effing enormous, but you get to the source of these drones, which is the mouth of a tunnel that opens up onto a bluff, over which you can see the remains of an Old Valentine village. It's laid out before you at a much lower elevation, almost like a valley, and you can see it stretching off as far as you can see. It's very dark down here. There are bioluminescent like lichen and moss and stuff, which is both a real thing, but more it's more so in this fantasy world. So you can see it's this gloomily lit. It's basically an old-timey village, like a lot of huts, a lot of wooden structures, very plain. The lizard folks were, created by a deity who only believed in survival, so they don't have like ornate things. They don't really have jewelry or baubles. Not all.
Love to bobble.
This is a generalization, but it's a very plain, simple village you see before you. A couple of things to note about it is, one is nothing really looks damaged or disturbed. This place was abandoned, but it wasn't subjected to like the elements, the sun and the rain and the wind. It just looks like everyone was raptured almost. That's not true. I'm not putting in like
Jealous.
that's not like foreshadowing. It just looks like that because they abandoned it and it was just left here, which is why like a lot of archaeological artifacts are like, semi-pristine just because the elements haven't worn them away. Another thing to note is you guys do see a small church, kind of like a one-room schoolhouse kind of church. You can't see the end of this village though, so there could be more. Remember, Graves said find the churches, plural, but you see that. You do not see any living creatures whatsoever.
Do we have any kind of like mobile or GPS signal down here? I'm assuming no.
No, absolutely no contact with the surface from this point forward.
Okay, well, I was basically just trying to work out like if we were underneath anything, but right. The church seems like a good place to start looking.
Off topic, I guess, or out of character. Did we ever specifically find out what the horror was a reference to, or is that specifically still yet to be deciphered?
Yeah, Yetzer Hara is a Hebrew phrase. It means the evil inclination. It was a name that some lizard folks gave to whatever group Solomon Luna's ancestor, Saint Luna, started. There's some deliberate ambiguity in this theology stuff because it's confusing, just like real world religion. The example I would give you is like there is a major religion in the world today that believes that being rich is evil, and yet they preach something called the prosperity gospel, which says that being rich is good, the literal exact opposite of what their holy book teaches.
Well, who could that be?
I'm not calling out any religions by name. I'm just saying religion is complicated and often contradictory. So there is confusion about what exactly St. Luna started, what they believe in. I gave a bunch of names, like some of them were fake. One of them was just a reference to another podcast. Like it is deliberately confusing what they believe in and who they are. But the Yetzer Hara was specifically a reference to some lizard folks saying that they're not doing the proper teachings of just survival. They have given into the evil inclination to use the survival as an excuse to indulge like their other wants. So that's what that means.
Gotcha.
This is a great time for questions, by the way. If anybody has any questions, now is the time to ask. After this, I don't know what happens, but it's not going to be question time.
So this is already kind of giving some possible insights as to what Solomon's whole thing might be.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even know if he has a body.
I'm not saying we know that either way, or one way or another. I'm just saying it gives some insight into kind of some of the mentality that might be relevant to what
Oh no, I just realized that we don't even know if he has like a physical
That is a good point.
form at the point. So we might not even be able to punch him.
Hey. What's wrong with not having a physical form? We have one person in this party who doesn't have a physical form, and you don't have any problems with him yet.
Frank wants to go investigate the church.
All right, Frank, you go ahead. You
Yeah.
open the door of the one-room schoolhouse-style church. It's a pretty simple building. As you open it, the door creaks, and there's like some dust. You do not think people come here at all, basically. I was going to say very often. No, that might be misleading. No one goes here. It's been abandoned for generations.
Okay.
It's dusty as fuck.
Is there like a secret trapdoor?
I want to investigate for things.
Yes, everybody who wants to roll investigation, group roll.
I'm also going to roll stealth at one point, just to try to be as quiet as I can.
20.
16.
19.
25.
Jesus Christ, we're so good.
Yikes, on bikes. Y'all crushed that to
My
bits.
stealth is only 13. Anyways.
Yeah, so Ed crouches a little lower than everybody. You guys start looking through this place. It's a very small church. There's just a couple rows of pews and a little pulpit. You guys see the symbol of Semuanya, the lizard folk god, it's an egg. Because survival is really just passing your genes on to the next generation. That's all he cared about.
Having babies.
You gotta live long enough to fuck.
Yes, it's you guys are in the Church of the Fuck. Can't make that the title. But yes, it's just a pulpit. There's a bunch of egg symbols. There's egg symbols on like the stained glass, on all the books. Everything's dusty. No one comes in here. You guys find some books with all those incredible rolls. I'm gonna say you guys flip through some of them and you start reading. The important thing to get out of this lore is that how Solomon conducts himself is not in line with Semuanya.
He's a bad lizard.
Semuanya would say the hoarding of extreme amounts of wealth is beyond survival. In fact, it makes you a target, which lowers your survivability. And also, if the community doesn't have enough money to survive, you're lowering their survival. So this, whatever Solomon's up to, and there seems to be some kind of connection with the church, it is not, let's say, purist. He's not a orthodox Semuanya follower.
He's not furthering the survival of the many, and he's also painted like we are on our way to go and deal with him. That's not good for his survival if we look at our track record.
Yeah. So as you guys are reading about this and looking around this room, in the distance, you hear music. Specifically, you hear Captain Katerina Kraken Bane's entrance music.
Man.
It's in the distance far. It's so faint at first. In fact,
Hide under a pew.
In fact, as I'm editing this, it'll be slowly fading in for like the last minute. But it still sounds very far away. Lenora, make a wisdom saving throw.
Man. Hold on. Ugh, I was like, oh, I'm gonna look for a trapdoor. It'll be so much fun.
It's time to rep your brand. Let's see if your brand can outbrand the other brand that's going on right now.
17.
Not good enough.
Oh no!
17 is very high, but it's not good enough, which might tell you something. So, Lenora, you duck behind a pew when you hear Katerina's music, and you start feeling very strange. You feel like goosebumps break out again. You have fur. I don't know how that changes the feeling, but your skin starts feeling weird, and you feel extremely aware of your body. It reminds you of taking Equinox, where usually you feel like the perfect version of Lenora. You feel like pure and powerful. You feel like a ghost of that, and your whole body feels strange.
Can I switch, do a Nox Rage to negate the effects of whatever's happening, or nah?
Not yet. You rolled. This took you by surprise. You hear a voice in your head say, "Attack!" Everyone in the room make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
But how about no?
17. I'm going to guess that's not good enough.
That is. This is a different DC.
11.
Fail.
Oh no.
17.
Success.
23 crit.
Crit.
Nice. Okay, everybody but Reese saves.
Oh.
So Reese take full, everyone else take half. 4 damage. So Lenora, your MP3 player comes on, blaring white noise, and a portal opens up in this room, and milky tentacles come out as the room is buffeted by unnatural cold, and everyone takes damage as these otherworldly tentacles begin buffeting them. Lenora just attacked you guys.
It wasn't on purpose, I promise.
Ed and Martis have guns out already.
Do not shoot me, please.
I mean, they have guns out already. I mean, because they can hear Kraken Bane's music, right?
Yes, everyone can hear Kraken Bane's music. Only Lenora heard the voice.
Hello, friends. There's a voice in my brain. Does that sound like Solomon?
Yes, exactly like Solomon.
Oh, little fucking bitch.
So you hear that, and Ed pulls out his guns. The music's still blaring in the distance. Lenora, make another wisdom saving throw.
No, it's a 9.
It is a 9. So let's see. You cast Crown of Madness on Ed as he pulls out his guns. Ed, saving throw.
Is wisdom save versus 16? I rolled a 19.
Nice. So Ed, you save. Lenora's MP3 is still blasting white static. Tries to charm you with the spell that she used to defeat Algernon earlier in the season, but you resist its thrall. Once again, Lenora, cowering under a pew, seems to be fighting off some magical force.
So can we go over and just like unplug her MP3 player, just to like prevent her from using?
Unplug it from what?
Just like, I don't know how your spellcast works, but guys, can we just take your MP3 player then, so you don't have a spellcasting focus, so you can't spellcast us if you get mind controlled again?
If you take away her focus, she won't be able to use spells that require the material component.
Yeah, well, let's do that real quick. Just be like, hey, let's hold on to your death MP3 player so you stop trying to murder us.
One of the problems I was
Lenora, make a wisdom saving throw.
7.
You fail. Reese comes over and tries to take your MP3, and you punch her in the throat with your glove gun. Your knife glove. Knife glove is the word I'm trying to say.
I have a plan for when you're done doing this damage.
You could roll as high as you want. Unless it's a magic glove, it's not actually going to hurt, Reese.
Yeah, I love that then. So Lenora just, the blade shinks out of her glove and she just punches you full bore in the throat. And it doesn't hurt at all, but it's pretty scary for your friend to knife punch you in the throat.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't need your MP3 player. It was just a suggestion. I'll go off in this corner. Goodbye.
I'm going to slide my MP3 player across the floor to Frank.
Frank is gonna grab it, and we will wait and see for a second if Lenora keeps attacking.
While this is happening, Ed and Martis are moving outside the church.
Okay, you open the doors and you look outside and you see, you have to like walk up the road a little bit towards the music. Mm-hmm. You see there is a larger church at the edge of town. That seems to be where it's coming from. Back in the church, Lenora, you hear this voice in your head again. And it's just saying, attack, attack, attack.
I'm gonna yell, no, fuck you.
All right, so what happens is this force tries to seize control of your body. You can feel your blood inside, like almost boiling, and your skin moving across like your whole body, freaking out. Unfortunately, you have a Fey Warlock feature, which prevents me doing this thing I've been waiting the entire campaign to do to you. Do you want to tell the audience about it? Because you mentioned it, but they probably forgot.
It's your level 10 feature.
Yeah, it's the one I just got, the beguiling defenses.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot I got that.
Good thing I did not.
I just never thought I was going to be able to use it.
Yeah, weird. I didn't plan this. No matter who was playing this character, the same thing would have happened. It just so happens you picked a feature that negates this character's thing.
I have a thing called beguiling defenses. So I have immunity to being charmed, and I can use a reaction to charm them back. I can try to.
I'm glad I remembered like a minute ago you had that, because I was gonna try and do dominate person to stop you attacking us, and then I was like, no. All
right, so I'm gonna use a reaction to charm them back.
All right, so something tries to seize control of your mind. Using your Fey connection to the Buttery Spirits Corporation, they have endowed you.
So buttery.
Yeah, they have endowed you with mind shielding technology. So whenever it tries to grab your mind, you use judo, mind judo, and you blast them back. And across that connection, you seize control of their mind. So, for a second, Lenora, you see out of the eyes of what is trying to control you. You see yourself on a stage. You are high up, as if like in rafters or in a balcony. You're high up, and you know that because you can see the top of Solomon Luna's head below you. There is a lizard folk on the stage below you. He's spiny. He looks exactly like Solomon Luna does. He appears to be physical. He's not a hologram, although there is the spiny drone next to him. And then out in front of the stage, you see just thousands of pews, like a mega church. It's enormous, like the biggest auditorium you've ever seen. And for a second, you have control over this thing whose eyes you are seeing out of. You are about to lose it. You have one action before this connection drops.
So much pressure. I feel like I'm thinking too small. There's so much power.
Yeah, you feel extremely powerful. The way you feel when you take Equinox.
Solomon, it looks like Solomon is the one casting the spells. Can I...
Solomon is standing below you.
Yeah.
He's standing there. He has a drone next to him. He doesn't seem like he's doing anything. He's standing there. The thing that's trying to take your mind is the thing you're controlling, which you do not know what it is.
Control Solomon's mind.
Not how this works.
I would.
Well,
I could.
if the thing you're controlling can control minds, use it to control
No.
Solomons.
It's a reaction to attempting to being charmed. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
Lenora counter-hacked this character.
essentially, yeah.
Can I break its harpoon gun? I don't know. That's dumb. I don't know. This is hard.
Attack Solomon while he's not expecting it.
Yeah. Can I just fucking tackle him?
You don't have to ask questions. Tell me what you do.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have this thing fucking just take down Solomon.
All right. So you're looking out of this thing's eyes. You look down, you see Solomon Luna, you see him with his drone, and you attack him instinctively. You bring down your arm. You're not really used to these appendages. You don't really understand what they are, how they work. You just kind of blindly swing down, and you bring down your claw on top of his head, and you crush him.
Oh.
Like someone rolling up a tube of toothpaste, you smash him, and his guts explode out of his eyes and mouth, and his head pops off.
Oh.
And his guts are sprayed over the pews in this church.
So we don't need to do the second session tonight then, right? We've wrapped it up.
Yeah, we didn't kill him.
I'm sure this other guy is totally cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel kind of bad because thorny lizards are really cute.
So that whole we weren't gonna kill him, huh?
I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to like glomp him.
You did not know your own strength.
Yeah, clearly I'm too. Oh God, we're gonna fight this thing. It's so strong.
And as the connection severs, Lenora, you realize you were looking down on him as if from a balcony or something, as I said. No, that's just how tall it is.
Jesus Christ.
And your huge lumbering arm, like a redwood trunk, comes down and just turns him inside out with its pure force.
This is Solomon, correct? That got turned inside out.
Didn't predict that, huh?
He did not predict that. No.
You know what this reminds me of? Did anyone play Fable 2?
Yeah.
No.
And you spend the whole fucking game like getting to the bad guy, and then you just shoot him in the middle of a monologue, and there's no like final fight. I'm getting like strong vibes from that. Then we came all the way into this dude's lair, and then he just got smashed.
So yeah, that whole subplot has been building up the whole thing, and Lenora just had an ability that countered it. So that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I could have made up like, oh, he's immune to it. Ooh, but no, that's just not how it works.
Well, am I cool now?
Lenora, you still feel your body feels extremely strange, but the thing has stopped trying to take over your mind because of what you did.
Well, let's go confront the giant squish machine.
Giant squish machine? What?
Wait, am I the final boss now?
What do you mean, giant squishing machine?
I was in something was in my mind, and then I got in its mind because I'm cool and good. and then I was just like, what do? There's a Solomon. Let's just tackle him. But instead of like tackling him, I squished his entire body with like a hand. So it's a very big thing.
Can you tell us anything about what you were?
Large.
Ed is at the other church, by the way.
All right, let's go catch up.
Well, you left without telling anyone, so...
All right, so Ed, you walk over to the other church. This one's bigger. This is more like a normal sized church, the one you might see in your neighborhood. And you open up the double doors, and inside there are rows and rows of pews, not dusty. People do come in this one. In fact, the audience would recognize it as the scene where Solomon Luna had a conversation with Kraken Bane about Professor Blackwood and Inspector Graves. This is the church from that scene. Obviously, the player characters don't know that, just pointing it out. Anyway, so there's this church. You guys see there's this, or Ed, you see that there's the symbol of Semuanya's egg above the altar. You see that there are lit candles. It is bright in here. And standing in front of the pulpit with a harpoon is Kraken Bane.
Ed, well, basically both the two pairs of guns are sort of drawn and pointed at Kraken Bane, and Martis calls out to Kraken Bane because he does not see anything that would be closely even Solomon, right?
You do not see Solomon, and this is not, I mean, you wouldn't know this, only Lenora knows this, but you do not see a mega church. This is a normal church.
Yeah.
So it's not the stage with a million pews. This is just a regular building, and Kraken Bane is in front of the pulpit.
Where's Solomon? Where's Luna?
Kraken Bane says, and it's kind of muffled by the helmet, so you can't tell exactly the voice, what it is. So, you'll meet him soon enough. Roll initiative.
Oops, smushed him.
18, and I see that they get advantage on there. Cool. Well, they have initiative advantage in this case because they beat me.
23. All right.
Yeah.
So Kraken Bane leaps off the pulpit into the aisle between the pews and just charges at you with its harpoon, and it's going to attack you. So that's how this is going to happen. Attack, attack, attack. So it's a 24 hit and then a botch. So let me roll damage. 10 damage as Kraken Bane runs up the aisle, stabs you, and does a swing, giving you an opening. Let's see here. Yeah, you get an extra attack on your turn.
All right.
As it leaves itself wide open with its just wicked stance.
Ed shifts aside after he takes the hit, and the two pairs of hands line up and take shots. Ed's going to shoot twice with Coda, so 30 and 20.
Hit.
And I'll have Martis shoot with Accelerando, which is the other. Oh, that's right. It's a 21 on that third attack. So all three hit.
Nice, yeah. Is that how it's pronounced? I always said Accelerando. It's Accelerando?
Accelerando is what it would be. I think that's an appropriate pronunciation.
It's also, I know it's a musical term, but it's also a very important work of science fiction, which I would say mildly influenced this campaign. To clarify, this is something I came up with in the last little bit. There's three guns that Ed has. They each have a different name. Ed's gun, he started the campaign with his Tempo. The pistol he got from Aram is Accelerando, and the one that he got from Heller, as I noted, is Coda, is what it is. I didn't bother doing the marking it quite yet, just because it's sort of like a snap reaction to what was happening. So that's sort of that's my justification for that. Why I didn't do Hunter's Mark yet. I will use I will roll the damage real quick here. So that's going to be 6d6 plus. Oh boy.
So many.
Plus 12, and so 66 plus 22 damage. That's 39 damage on that barrage of shots at Kraken Bane. And if anything, the rest of the party should hear like the sound of gunshots in the distance as Ed starts to get going to business.
We were all on the way there anyway, assuming that that's where smushed up Toothpaste Solomon was. So, we'll get there when we can.
It's too small.
And then lastly, he will use his bonus action to invoke his Planar Warrior ability and pick Kraken Bane as sort of the target of his Planar Warrior benefits, which will be relevant the next time he lands with an attack. And that'll be his turn.
So Kraken Bane runs down the aisle, stabs Ed, does another wild swing. Ed dodges, bam, 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 shoots her 3 times point blank. Blood spurts out. That's something notable, is that this thing bleeds. It's going to attack again. 24, 14, 13.
So one hit.
10 damage, stabbed again, and it's Ed's turn. The party's running up. You guys, see Ed dueling Kraken Bane, but there's gonna be one more round here before you catch up.
At this point, Ed, takes the second hit. He will use his bonus action to invoke Hunter's Mark on Kraken Bane to sort of leverage as much chance he can for the damage to work. He will do an attack with Coda. 30 will hit.
Hit.
That will be all force damage. So that'll be 3d6 plus. This is like Ed just has the heavy damage loadout here going on here. 3d6 plus 8 plus 1d8 force damage. That's 25 on the first shot.
Yikes, my gikes.
And then the second shot from Martis. 20 again.
Hits.
11. So that's 36 damage on the second volley there.
Yikes. All right, so you shoot Kraken Bane again and again. It's just bleeding freely from all these gunshot wounds. It doesn't seem to be it's like some invincible Terminator. It does seem like it's feeling that. It's bleeding and, panting, and seems like it hurt pretty badly by this.
During this, it's like at one point, Martis is even asking,
Who are you? Why are you posing as Kraken Bane?
Kraken Bane just laughs and attacks again. Botch, miss, 26. So with the first swing, its spear goes flying wildly, and then it just tries to tackle you. Strength contest.
Oof. All right.
8.
8. I rolled a 8. You rolled a 7. I rolled an 8.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. So as the rest of the party runs up to the second church, you see Kraken Bane and Ed tussling in the middle of the aisle between the pews. Kraken Bane is bleeding everywhere. Ed is dented up, but he was fighting a gunfight with a spear, so he's looking okay. You guys see this though. What do you do?
Frank wants to try and cast Dominate Person on Kraken Bane.
All right, so that's a wisdom saving throw, not to be dominated.
Yeah, that's a wisdom save to not be charmed.
Crit. So Kraken Bane is not charmed.
Okay, yeah, that does not work.
They are tussling on the floor, and Ed gets the upper hand. Rolls Kraken Bane under him, has the advantage. You could just say, "I shoot Kraken Bane in the head," and you win this fight if you want.
No, I will. Martis's hands holds Coda aimed at Kraken Bane's face. Ed is going to pull the mask off.
Ed, you reach down and grab hold of the Thorny Devil helmet, which is kind of like a fighter pilot helmet, full head covering, but with spikes. Yep. And you yank it off as this bleeding gunshot person below you struggles. Mm-hmm. And you are greeted with the face of a Thorny Devil lizard folk. It looks very much like a young Solomon Luna.
Is it a Luna clone?
Ed will keep the gun. Martis will keep the gun trained, and Ed will simply just hold his position over this person and then ask directly,
"Who are you?"
You really haven't figured it out.
I just want to hear you say it.
How about I show you?
Yeah, show us, you little bitch.
He licks his lips.
Stop
Could
that.
just tell us. That works too.
The figure, I'm going to keep calling him Kraken Bane, rolls out from under Ed if you let him.
Ed taps him with Planar Warrior and then lets him roll aside as Ed picks up a Celerando.
Kraken Bane shakily gets to his feet, using the harpoon as a walking stick. Mm-hmm. Looks back actually at Reese for a moment, and they lock eyes, but he doesn't say anything. And then turns back and begins walking to the back of the church. There's a door back here at the back of this church.
I'm following.
Yep, following.
Yeah, let's follow.
Guns trained, but nothing. But not shooting.
The bleeding Kraken Bane looks absolutely spurting from 9 gunshots. It was hard to keep track.
It was a total of 5 gunshots that did a total of, I think, 75 damage.
Kraken Bane opens the door, and you guys see that in the back of this church, there's actually more stuff back here. It's not just this opening room. There are a bunch of machines. They kind of look like MRI machines. Are you guys familiar?
Yeah, big scary science tube.
It's a Solomon clone factory.
So you guys have never seen a 3D printer in person in character because they're very rare and expensive, but you have now. Inside of these they're like tables that have full cylinders around them, and you kind of slide inside. They are bristling with what are called extruders, like metal arms with like almost like syringes that spray out biological stuff. In the real world, we can 3D print organs. It's very difficult and expensive, and there's a lot of complications. But this is a fantasy world in which the technology works. We already know that Beatrice Beauregard was printed. Bird, the bear, was printed.
It's like Westworld, but with lizard.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Lizard world.
In fact, as you guys walk in here, you see there are several more Kraken Banes being printed.
No.
And Luna just laughs and says, "It's so hard getting a dependable workforce. It took so much time to edit in other memories."
So this is your idea of survival, huh?
Take us to the real Luna.
Survival. What does survival mean to you? It means something else entirely to me. You'll learn that.
Well, it meant something to your religion. It meant, everyone surviving, not just you, the individual.
My religion. You'll see why that's funny soon.
Why did you bother with the whole Kraken Bane disguise?
The Solomon bodies are very compliant, very faithful, but they lacked that je ne sais quoi, that fighting spirit. I have your friend to thank for that. It came with a lot of trauma as well, but it's tied to all of those important memories.
So you could program these bodies to be whatever you want, but using someone's memories creates an imperfect clone, just like Project Eternity always seemed to imply.
The clone is perfect. It's the personality. They always insist on free will. It's inefficient. Katerina knew what it took to win. That's why she was the perfect solution to the problem we had tried to solve for so long.
Do you still have the original Katerina somewhere?
Bones.
So are these ones here alive, or do you need to put consciousness in them?
One of the Kraken Banes sits up and says, "Ow! Everything hurts. Ah!" And the one that's talking to you with all the gunshots says, "Fresh nerves, very unpleasant."
What's the big giant thing?
As you say that, you hear footsteps from the room you just left.
Are they big?
No, they're just more Kraken Banes.
Oh, okay.
I would say a squad. So the ones waking up and the ones entering the church, there's about a dozen now. They all have harpoons.
They can all suck my dick.
It would have been easier if you died, but this could be useful too.
Is there any way out of here other than the way we came in?
Good question. I would imagine there's probably a side door that's probably locked. But they're not attacking you. In fact, they seem to be like gathering around to escort you. And there's more. There's more showing up all the time, and they're surrounding the building. Like there's just Kraken Banes everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one you guys have been talking to, Kraken Bane Prime, if you will, says, "Reese, do you know why I quit wrestling?"
You're not her.
As if you knew the real her, me, us. I know you. I remember the way you looked at me, the way it felt when we touched.
At this point, standard sort of hammer cock back sort of motion happens on one of the guns, and Martis in the body just says,
"Please, there's no need for further antagonization on this part."
I just wanted to share. I knew when I won, and they were just gonna give the belt away, that if the game was rigged, I may as well just take the biggest prize. If it's all fake, What's holding you back?
Oh, I want to do something here, but I feel like it's going to take the tone to a really dark place.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
If it's one in your head, I'd just say go with your gut.
I'll hold off for the moment. There's still time to potentially do it.
Okay. What do you say to Kraken Bane antagonizing you with Katarina's memories that have been implanted in it so that the 3D printed Solomon Lunas could fight? Because that's what they did. This is subtext. I'm making text just in case people are confused. Katarina got her arm blown off, and rather than take her to the hospital, Solomon Luna arranged to have her brought to a Project Eternity machine so that her memories could be uploaded. And we've established with Skell that uploading kills the original person. Mm-hmm. So Katarina has been dead the whole time. Not a fake death. It's really dead, which is what Aaron said to you all. But since then, Solomon Luna has been using Katarina's memories, most specifically her fighting, expertise, to improve the bodies he has, which is a thing that I feel like you guys kind of figured out a while ago. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the best plot twists are ones that make sense in hindsight. So I'm glad everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense.
So, Chris, just like out of character question, like if these things have Katarina's memories, how viable do you think it is to try and have Reese get through to them?
I think it would be dishonest to try to say we could sway them with Reese, since Katarina's last act was to essentially say, well, it sucks if Reese dies, but I don't care at this point.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm playing this Kraken Bane as a combination of Solomon Luna and the way Chris and I have discussed Katarina, which was, at the end, she was totally willing to kill her best friend. Like, she's a bad person, and that's what makes her so useful to Solomon. So
Reese reacts to this without saying anything. Her face is a bit more stern and angry than normal, but there's a very obvious sort of pain in her eyes as she kind of looks upon what is this weird, twisted facade of her former friend, I guess is the best way to sort of put it. But she's not said or done anything yet in response. She's, at this point, seemingly just listening.
All right. So at this point, the room just fills up with Kraken Banes who, at harpoon point are going to try to lead you out of this place to the mega church. Do any of you resist or say anything or do anything?
I do not resist.
Yeah, I wanna see what this big boy is.
Ed and Martis will get the guns back into their respective holsters with the smooth efficiency that they've practiced for so long. It's just sort of like uncanny how quickly they can just get those guns out of sight.
I'm gonna take my MP3 player back from Frank.
Yeah, they don't try to stop you. They feel like, oh, they have you totally outnumbered, and they're gonna, they have things well in hand. So they start leading you down the road at harpoon point. There's like 2 columns of them on either side of you, and the church was on the outskirts of town. So they actually lead you a little bit outside of town. You can see like in the distance this mega church. It's like the size of a sports stadium. It's just unreasonably large. It's enormous. It's almost blasphemous.
While we're walking, Frank's just going to be humming Sandstorm because he no longer has the MP3 player. He's a little bummed out.
Ed might, I'm trying to think if he would, he wouldn't ask Reese at the moment to get healed, but he's just walking along with the...
Yeah, at this point, if you guys want to roll hit dice, this can count as a short rest.
Okay.
Yeah, as you guys walk, Kraken Bane Prime says, the original plan was...
To mind control me?
No, before that. Project Eternity wasn't just for the heads of Crown. It was for everyone. If the transfer would have been perfect, if the 3D printed person was the same, we could sell everyone a brand new body at the end of their life, and they would have to take out a massive loan to pay for it, and then spend the rest of that life working it off, but it wouldn't be enough. The interest, it builds and it builds, and you can't pay it off, so we can't let you die. And you have to buy another and another forever.
God, you guys are dicks.
This is one of those weird DJ Khaled sort of things. We just get another. You buy another one and another one.
And you don't eat pussy.
Yes.
Fucking dunk on him.
Yeah. Martis just sort of.
That seems like a unnecessarily inefficient ruse, but I'm not a business person, so I wouldn't understand.
Frank now just feels zero guilt about eventually, like, no, I'll kill these people. This is literal evil incarnate shit going on.
You wouldn't pay for immortality?
I don't have to pay.
People line up weeks in advance for cell phones. You don't think they'll pay any price to live forever?
Listen, buddy, I don't really like this life that I'm living now, so I don't want to add more to
Yeah,
it.
the idea of, like, this going, like, life having finite limits is kind of why it's great.
God, it's reassuring.
Yeah. I can screw up and eventually it'll be done.
Also, unlike you, my current state of lack of mortality is not contingent on money or fancy printers. So,
his evil plan defeated by the fact that millennials don't want to live. So dark.
True that feeling.
Millennials don't want to live, and people who've lived over millennia don't really care anyway, so.
The Kraken Bane just explains that, like, the Project Eternity started with this idea of basically using 3D printing technology and mind uploading to create an underclass of basically indentured servants slash slaves.
Slaves?
Infinite debt slaves. But the mind transfer wasn't perfect. The new people had new souls, and you can't. People don't want to pay to die. Usually, although Lauren is channeling a certain millennial dark humor that maybe flies in the face of that. Lovely. But now they mastered combining the memories of people. So even if it's a new soul, maybe we could do something about this whole thing. Salvage this project by maybe melding people's memories with obedient memories of people who won't narc. That the process isn't perfect, which is what you guys are seeing.
So I mean, how much of a down payment did you have to make for this body? And I'm pretty sure the APR has to be pretty low because you're assuming a long repayment cycle, right?
I think the Kraken Bane just rolls his eyes at you.
Oh, come on! I thought you were so keen on talking about the financial optics of this. Shame.
The optics won't be important. Soon we'll have 4 new spokespeople for the initiative.
Sure.
The Kraken Banes open up the doors of the megachurch, and I once again, I keep saying how big it is, but it's like, if Semuanya only believed in survival, the idea of it having a fancy church, let alone something that looks like Soldier Field, is preposterous. Like,
Is it like the National Cathedral?
I'm specifically, in my mind, I have Tico Arena. What is it?
Oh my God, Jermaine Arena now.
Yeah, they changed it. Anyway, that's fucking nothing to anyone but the 3 Florida people on this show. Just whatever sports stadium is in your particular city. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
The doors are thrown open, and you guys see what Lenora saw. Just pews on pews on pews on pews forever. So many. And then there's a big stage where if you've ever seen like a mega church where the people run around giving sermons and screaming about Jesus and asking for donations, there's that stage. On that stage is what's left of Solomon Luna, who has been smashed and his innards ejected through his head as he was crushed. And then next to him, you see the thing that did the crushing. I'm going to put an icon on the roll 20.
I hope it's the Iron Giant.
Aw. It's
It's a really big lizard.
is it Mega Luna? Is it
Oh, he's so angry.
Lunamus Prime?
it's Costco Solomon Luna. That's why you buy him in bulk, right?
The family size.
Does anybody know what this is a picture of?
A lizard.
It's the lizard that looks like it's crying blood.
Yes, it's called a horned lizard, although in America we actually usually refer to them as horny toads. They're not toads, they're lizards.
Yeah.
But they are a kind of lizard that is famous for shooting blood out of its eye as a defense mechanism. And the picture I used in Roll20, this lizard looks like it's crying blood. It's a little upsetting, but they actually shoot it in a jet out to ward off attackers. They also are very spiky. This thing is kaiju sized, not quite Godzilla, but it needs to be in this sports stadium thing to fit its body. A couple things about it. One is it's so large that it could crush a person so that their insides explode out of their head, as has been demonstrated. Another is that this thing looks incredibly old and crusty and like it can't barely lift its body. There are tubes running into it, like medical tubes. And it looks very bad and old and dying.
Is it Semelania?
And you guys walk into this room and you see it. And this figure says, "Welcome."
Is this a humanoid?
No, it is a giant horny toad.
Okay.
Is it the god? It's always full of tubes to keep it alive?
You are in the presence of Saint Luna, heir of Semuania, conduit of power, and the last living god.
Oh.
Okay, going home. Bye, guys.
You believe it's morning, I'm alive, but that's the last thing on my mind. You believe it's morning, I'm alive, but that's the last thing on my mind.
Y'all see him in the street struggling, young, dumb, and thuggin', give a fuck about nothing. Stuck at rock bottom, trying to come up on something. Pumping from sundown to
Austin.
Credits.
Love to credit.
August 2018.
God damn, it's already more than halfway through the year. What the fuck?
You're welcome.
Please no.
I did it. I'm taking credit. Also, credits, music. For August 2018, we have a overclocked remix, Geofractura, an arrangement of Fault Zone from Echo the Dolphin, The Tides of Time.
I love Echo the Dolphin.
I do love Echo the Dolphin too.
It's so hard.
Impossible, actually. Also, Cream, Phonics remix by the Wu-Tang Clan, and Back in the Game, the Phonics remix by the Wu-Tang Clan. Of course, everyone knows this season's all about the cash, and now it's almost over. We're at the end. Are you excited?
I'm excited. Like every season, it's like, oh, this is too much. Time for casual laughing with buds for the first couple episodes. But I also miss my characters at the end of every season, so it's like bittersweet.
Lenora is very good. It's your most OC of OCs, but also the highest body count. So I'm keeping an eye on you.
I'm not. No, I'm just a marshmallow.
All right, executive producers for August. It's a weird month, because Patreon had a bunch of updates and stuff, and a bunch of the credit cards got canceled. So if you're not on the list, I apologize.
Fuck you, Patreon.
I promise it was not my fault, but I have the list they have garnished me with. It's also in alphabetical order for the first time that I'm aware of. So that's another fun little wrinkle. You want to start reading them?
Executive producers for August 2018 are A Flaming Horse's Patoot,
Aki Savalainen,
Albert West,
Andrew Birmingham,
Andrew Fallu, Conduit of Mediocrity Itself,
Andrew Grothin, Anna Michael,
Anthony Sever,
Arjun Koning,
Arna Helgadotir,
Artemis BJJ Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Bristol,
August Rue.
Bloody Roar needs pangolins. It does.
I also need pangolins. Brady Warner.
Fuck. Brent, according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee, and then it cuts off because you ran out of characters, you sadistic bastard.
I want to know what the bee can't do.
It's the script of Bee Movie. It's the first line of the script of Bee Movie.
I've never seen that, and I will continue to do that.
Okay, continuing.
Cameron Abbas.
Carter Rayner.
Christopher Charlow.
Cody Jackson.
Counterfeit.
Daniel Stashik.
Dawn.
Dennis Bangston.
Dennis Pancake Detlefson.
Devin Smith.
Douglas Williamson.
Dr. Tao.
Dr. Goatman.
There's a lot of doctors. We've got a very well read. Some of our listeners are geniuses, and some of them love B Movie.
Damn, getting Brent.
Dylan.
Einar Johansson.
Ecorin.
Elderly Goose.
Eleanor Nonante sees Periton.
Aline.
No, it's Aline.
Aline.
Indigo Van Dane.
Erwan Lilagadik.
I think that sounds like a hero from Celtish folklore.
It does.
Exos.
Extellaris.
5 purple wands.
Florian H.
You have to say Florian H. Finger guns, finger guns, finger guns. You have to hear the finger guns.
I'm getting so dunked on this morning. I didn't even fuck anything up, I don't think, yet.
Francois V.
Garrett.
Grimlock.
Harley Astor.
Harrison Andrew.
Hedron Master.
Hustle Bones.
I'm a pretty kitty full of snuggles and violence.
Aren't they all?
Yeah.
Ingmar Grimmin.
Ioannis Soy my name. Love it. Nicolopoulos.
Isaac Arevalo.
Jack Clo. Like the Clo cards?
Jadakins, and then a ASCII picture of a dick.
Dick.
I saw it coming a mile away and it still got me somehow.
James Neely.
Janiac, form of tripping your face off.
Wow, big mood.
Mm-hmm.
Jaspel Singh.
J. Logan, conduit of queerness itself.
Jeff Clark.
Jerry, herself.
Jesse Young.
Joaquin Groening.
John Potts.
John Barnett.
Joseph Tombrello.
Josh Mosier.
Joy Fox.
Jew-Man Jack.
Julian Phillips.
Junk 2.0.
Just the Jester.
Justin Berthasell. Conduit of Ooh itself.
Big same.
Now that totally puts to bed the theory that it's supposed to be a face. Because how would I pronounce it if it was a face? It's ooh woo.
Ooh woo. It's a face and an emotion.
Uh-huh.
Jorgen, conduit of name butchering Winework Ford.
Caster UK.
Kiefer Lowe.
Ken Fursel.
Kevin Dobbins.
Killer Cotton Shizno.
Kitty Foe.
Criterion.
Lana Seawolf.
Las Cruz.
Levy, the young condiment of not mad, just disappointed.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Lindsay Pankhurst.
Lauren Cates.
Luke Powers.
Joe.
You looked at that and you said Joe and not M. Joe as if it was the initial of a first name.
I thought it would be funny.
Oh, Madison Lilith McKenzie.
Major Tim.
A Cult of Orphanax.
Matthew B. Hare.
Matthew Weber.
Matthew Lackett.
Mazjin.
Melissa Booker.
Melissa Nielsen.
Mel Teach.
Marissa Donaldson.
Michael Hall.
Miko from Finland.
Morgan Rapp.
Nicholas Dominic.
Niels June Ina Joret. I'm so sorry.
Noah Sudret.
Notorious Stoltz.
Paul Mullen.
Possum Kingdom refugee, come to my house.
No, we need to go to the Possum Kingdom.
That's true. I do love but why are they refugees? Is it a terrible kingdom?
It's too much food.
Oh, they love their garbage.
Primordial Orc.
Pruitt Holcomb.
Puck.
Quench the Void.
Random Web Person.
Razumi Yazura.
Rainier the Conduit of Being Stoned.
No, it's me. Robert Dakin.
Ryan Brown.
Salad Child.
Samantha is meing in Tallahassee rain. I don't know what that means.
Samantha, are you here?
What are you doing?
Oh no.
Samantha.
Seraph Stone.
Scott Cummings.
Scotty Vilhard.
Sean Lyons Burke.
Sean, the host of Funk Dunk Plays.
Savard Nakrasamova.
Starlight Glimmer did nothing wrong.
Stay tuned.
Sweaty Cucumber.
Just a little status update on the cucumber. Sydney Marsing.
The cast of Dungeons the Gathering.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Podcast Credits Edition. See, they said they ported it to every platform, but now it's true. It wasn't true until it was in the podcast credits. Thank you.
Oh no, the ghost of Professor Blackwood.
You know I had to do it to him. The Hadsels.
The Most Wise Guru.
Paladin's Wife.
Toby Gleason Stack.
Toshir Kuru.
Shanus.
Vigar Arnston.
Victoria Melito.
Vizzy Huggles.
Wayne Hodgins. Birthday July 30th. Dang, happy birthday, bro.
Just snuck a little birthday wish in there for yourself. That's fun. Ziphosaurus.
Yam!
Z. 23,619. You didn't like the way I did it last time. How did you like it that time?
Jean Valjean's number in Les Mis is 2. No, wait. I thought it was. Never mind.
Oh no, you thought you had a reference and it's not the right reference.
Oh god, no, my brain did it bad.
I literally thought this, now that we're far enough into it, I can reveal, I thought this was going to be the Les Mis season. I literally thought that it was just going to be like barricades in the street at some point.
Do you hear the Sneeple sing? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else do we do at this part?
We talk about animals.
Oh, no. Sketch.bandcamp.sketch.com.
Yeah, sketch.bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Moms, I can't word.
Chris Larios at patreon.com/weekly manga recap. That's where he weekly manga recaps. Laura, kotaku.co.uk. Lauren, Rargalicious on Twitter.
Oh, that's me.
That is you. I am patreon.com/Austin Yorsky. As I said, Patreon's being weird, so help. Please help. I'm dying. We're all dying, but
He's dying.
I'm double dying now because the website did bad. What else? Anywhere on Podbean, Google Play, YouTube. We're probably places I don't even know, but if you just do the things that you're allowed to do there, just click all around. Just click on stuff, see what feels right. I don't know, algorithms?
Yeah, love to click.
You gotta click, really. That's it, right?
Yeah, thanks to all the cats and dogs listening.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys.
I met a new cat recently.
Yeah, you're like obsessed with her, and you hate my cats all of a sudden.
Her name's Penelope, and she's a princess, and your cats are goblins.
Fuck off!
Your cats are goblins. Penelope is a perfect lady, a princess, a queen. I stand for this queen.
You're a goblin!
Got you in bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins?
Kissing goblins.
Goblin vomit.